Good afternoon, everybody. And sometimes it could be good morning or good evening. I'm Nana Hinesley with Launch Strategically. And today we are going to talk to a very inspirational woman. Her story is so incredible. She was a single mom with 4 kids, and she's going to tell you how she launched her career with all of her genius in doing so. So I don't want to waste any time. I want her to tell you about how she was able to find a remote job from home and get her career going. So Shannon, thank you for talking to me.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So tell us all about where it all started.
Yeah. Really, I actually landed my first work from home position in 2009. It was a rough period of time for me because I was in the beginning stages of deciding whether or not I was going to stay in my marriage or transition. And one of the things that I know a lot of married women or women who have transitioned out of a marriage, they always have to think about how are they going to be able to sustain themselves financially if they leave. And so for me, being able to work without having to put my kids in childcare was like the top priority. And so I was able to land my first work from home position in 2009, which got me stable enough to make that final decision to transition. So by the time 2011 hit, my finances was a little funny, and I had been just doing customer service positions. And so it really wasn't paying enough to continue to sustain me and 4 kids. And so like I had one in pull-ups and one in diapers and 2 in elementary school. So, when they're really young, the cost is a lot between diapers and
For sure.
everything. So I started really doing some soul searching again, trying to find how can I make more money? How can I find a career that was more satisfying and still hold on to the flexibility that I had discovered by working from home as a customer service agent? And so during all that soul searching, I stumbled upon some assessments that really was eye opening for me to help me discover my talents and strengths, and which really helped me discover my next journey, which was transitioning into instructional design and training. And so after I discovered that career path, that really really pushed me to finish my education. And so I had a few credits that I needed to complete for undergrad. And so I went ahead and knocked that out. So in 2014, I completed my undergrad and went right into grad school the following month. So I was on a mission because I finally had like discovered the career path that was ideal for me. And I was so excited that I just didn't want to waste any more time. And so I actually completed my grad degree in 2016 while raising 4 kids.
What was that
Um,
degree in exactly?
it's in
Business?
instructional design and technology, and the specialization is training and performance improvement.
So can you share with us what that means?
Yeah, so instructional design is what I do on my full time job. And it's basically just creating learning experiences for organizations to help upskill or reskill their employees, which is what I'm really passionate about because being able to upskill myself was why I was able to improve my ability to earn more money and give my children a different lifestyle. And it's one of those things that I'm really, really proud of accomplishing because it was a journey to say the least.
You must have been exhausted, right? You had these little kids and then you had to do homework at night, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
wow.
during.
And how
Yeah.
many years were you in school?
So I was in school for 2 years. The grad degree was the 2 year program, and the undergrad requirements were it's just like a few months. I just had to take a few tests and just finish out those last bit of credits. But the chunk of my time was in grad school, which was two
Wow,
years.
that's so impressive. So did you have to go or could you do that remotely as well?
Fortunately, with Walden University, I was full remote, and the great thing was I was able to land a position in instructional design before I graduated. One of the things that I had stumbled upon in my research is volunteering, the importance of volunteering and interning, and so I had stumbled upon a virtual internship through digging on LinkedIn, surprisingly,
Nice, nice.
and I stumbled upon someone that was looking for instructional design interns. And so that was really the catapult that helped me really get my foot in the industry, because a lot of times it's challenging to get into a role that you don't have any experience in. And when, especially when you're changing careers, is really, really powerful tool to volunteer or intern somewhere to give you that experience on paper. So that was really helpful for me.
Absolutely. I absolutely endorse that move. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then so you did some interning and then you graduated, and then what happened?
So after I graduated, I finished out that internship, and then I landed another job. And so my story kind of like snowballed from there, because I kept getting different positions. I started contracting for a few years, and I was able to give myself a raise every year from grad school on, which is like, to me, is a miracle. It was divine intervention. I know it was mixed with my intention and focus, and one of the things that I just kept at the forefront of my mind is that I wanted to change my lifestyle for my children's sake. Like, I wanted to have more control over where we lived, how much money I was bringing in, and what types of things that they could have access to. And I just didn't want to have to always say no. I wanted to be able to say yes more often. And so
Absolutely.
having that in the forefront of my mind really just really opened doors for me and helped me, I guess, attract better opportunities, because it was just something that I had a really strong desire for. And yeah, it's just, I kept going from better to better positions, and then I ended up relocating closer to DC for a government contract. So I ended up doing instructional design for the Army, for Department of Transportation, a lot of government agencies, which was really great exposure, great experience. And so now I'm in the financial industry doing training and instructional design. But I have now started a new venture where I'm starting my own training and development firm. So I'm really excited about that.
So before we talk about that, I have to ask you, did you see yourself as this powerful career woman back in the day?
Not at all. Not at all. I think I was more focused on survival and just being able to earn more money. And, those in the earlier years, I was struggling so bad financially that I had to rely on government assistance, which is not something you're proud of. You kind of hang your head in shame in a sense, because you feel like you should be able to do better. And now I hate that word should, because you're in your experiences for a reason, but you always can choose to change your experience. And so when I made that decision to change my experience, like, opportunities and things just lined up, just because that was my focus. But I never thought of myself as like doing something extraordinary, or I just wanted to live better, and I wanted my kids to live better. And so it just came together in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely believe that what we focus on and sincerely focus on, we're going to attract to us. And so in my coaching, I'm always telling everybody, you have to stay focused on what you want, and you have to see yourself achieving what you want, because if you don't, your head's going to get filled up with stuff that doesn't serve you. So good
Yes.
for you. So you had this killer desire to help your kids and have a better life. So
Mhm.
then now you're starting your own business, right? And tell us about that.
So it's a combination of training and coaching. So just to backtrack a little bit, when I finished grad school and I got really good into my career, and landed a role that I really liked, and still was able to work from home, which was really important to me, because although my kids were older, I still wanted to be accessible to them. So having that flexibility in this career path was just phenomenal, because I didn't know that at first. But after landing a few roles that always had options to work from home, it was just great. And so as a result of that, and the number of people asking me, how do you get to work from home? It was like a
Yes.
common question all the time. And I think back then it wasn't as popular as it is now, where it's like mandatory now. But back then it was like something that a lot of companies weren't on board with. And so I had a lot of friends and family ask me, how do you get to do this? And so I started like compiling list of different sites and things that I would find that helped me land roles that allowed me to work from home. And so someone asked me if I ever thought about coaching. And so I hadn't, because I was so happy with my job that I didn't think about doing anything else. And so I started looking into it. So in 2020, I went ahead and completed my career coaching certification. And then I also completed a digital career strategist certification with the Professional Association of Resume Writers and Career Coaches. And I just focus on helping people market themselves in a way that attracts work from home and flexible career opportunities, and also just help them with transitioning. So if they're in a career path that has them stuck like I was with customer service and they want to do something, different, I really want to help people transition, specifically women, because I can relate to them, and moms.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. And I know how important it is for moms to have flexible working arrangements. And so I really wanted to be instrumental in helping them discover those things. So that's where the idea to start my own company came from.
So if somebody comes to you, a woman comes to you, and things aren't so hot, how do you start with them? What's your program look like?
So I always start with their interests and their talents and their strengths, because when you are starting with that, then you know that the career or the role that they're going to be working in is going to be in full alignment with who they are. And then going from that point, we move into skills. What kind of skills do they already have? Because a lot of times women do not give themselves enough credit for transferable skills that they have accumulated, especially if they're moms. We have so many skills as moms that we just really don't take into consideration that organizations would find valuable. Like when you think about moms managing time, inventory, conflict resolution, customer service, the list goes on and on. And helping women, especially moms, see their value and give them the tools to really articulate that powerfully in those interviews and in their resume is really important. So we do that by just taking inventory of their skills and then seeing how we can match that to opportunities that are out there that are in industries that are like remote work friendly or family friendly.
Remote work friendly. I like that. I'll have to coin that. Remote. It's hard to say too. Remote work friendly. Cool. Well, cool. Great. And so are there any other tips that you have for people? Anything at all that is important to you?
I really think that it's important, just to go back to the skills, to always keep inventory of the skills that you accumulate, and realize that when you look at job descriptions, not all the job descriptions are going to advertise that they're willing to do work from home positions. But if you have the skills that they need, there are ways that you can negotiate that at the point of offer. So don't get discouraged if you see a job description that doesn't actually advertise it, because there's a potential of having any job convert into a remote position if you have the skills, or you're able to market yourself in a way that makes you in demand in a sense. And so that would be my word of advice. Don't think that just because a role doesn't list it, that is not available, because I've had opportunities turn into remote positions over the years that weren't advertised that way. So
yeah, and honestly, I always say that no doesn't mean no. It just means that we're going to come around it another way and figure out.
exactly.
When there's a will, there's a way. And I think moms, and maybe men too. I mean, when you're driven to have something, there's no stopping anybody. They can get it. They just have to want it bad enough.
Absolutely. I
So
totally
yeah, I'm with you 100% there. Well, very good. Well, listen, if somebody wants to reach out and get your help in their career, where should they go?
ShannonDSmith.com is the best way to reach out to me. All of the information of how to work with me is there.
Okay, cool. I will link that down below.
Okay,
And
great.
so with that, unless there's anything more that you have, I'm going to ask everybody to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And with that, I will let you finish your day. And thank you again, Shannon D. Smith, Superwoman.
Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're good. I think we're good. No, wait.
Okay.
Oh, wait.